we've talked about protocol. Now we've gotten to understand that protocol is actually a lot of work.
Mm.
So after coming back from Washington, coming back and working as chief of protocol, did you continue working for the government, or that was the last time?
No, when I came back, I was actually retiring from Washington.
Okay.
And when I returned, I used to brief. I was going back to come for, I think, a meeting conference. So I took that advantage to bid farewell to President Moi, because when I told him I'm going back to U.S. To take leave of the Americans and come and retire. Then they gave me an appointment. So I went there in the morning. I had a long chat with the president, thanking him, and he recognized what role I played here and there. And then when we were going out, because I had established for over years, even when I was in Geneva as ambassador, that when I come, I'll call on him, brief him of my situation where I was, the station where I was serving, the issues which I needed is information to know. And then during my stay here, before I leave, the day I leave, I will then seek an appointment to go and to see him, so that he can tell me, particularly in the U.S., there are a lot of issues which requires me to be acquainted and pursue. So I will then seek an appointment to see him the day I was leaving, so that he can now tell me any message he wants me to go, or what something I should focus on in the U.S. So this time I decided, because every time I was to go see him, I would stay there, go there in the morning, lunchtime comes, then join them in the lunch, and leave about 3 o'clock after seeing him. And the day I'm leaving in the evening, so it would mess me up. So this time I decided I will actually go there about 6 days or so before my departure. So at the day of my departure, I'm free.
You're free.
Yeah, I'm not have to stay at the house for a long day. So after he had talked to each other and I was leaving, he asked me, what time is your flight? I told him, no, this time I'm leaving next week on a Wednesday. Well, can be like Wednesday or Thursday. He said, you mean you are going next week and you are bidding me farewell now? How come? How do you know that within the 1 week there will be other issues in the U.S. Which require my briefing from you or give you advice on what is happening? So please come back on the day you are leaving the way you have been doing. And he told his secretary that book him to come on that day. I think it was a Wednesday. The day of departure in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:15 in the morning. So I said, okay, Mzee, I'll be here. I left that rather happy about it, but I had to oblige. Same evening, same night, I was in the house. I hear I've been appointed a permanent secretary, Minister of Home Affairs. And then now the following day I was to come and now thank him
for the appointment.
For the appointment. So and mind you, you have to start work immediately, Oh yes, immediately. So I started immediately. So I stayed around for about 2 weeks now in the Ministry of Home Affairs. And then I left about 2 or 3 weeks, about 3 weeks or so. And then left for US. Initially, no, I was there for a longer time actually, because I had to go for about a month, because I had to go to a meeting in it was in Geneva, yes, another meeting in Geneva, which requires my participation in that meeting as permanent secretary, Minister of Home Affairs. So I went there. I think I was here for about a month, or slightly over a month. Then we went back to U.S., took leave of the Americans, visited took about 2 months or so, about a month and a half. They took leave for the Americans and so on, bid a farewell to Kenya nationals and so on. They had parties for me, various parties we had. I don't know, one of them where they gave me some big thing recognizing my presence there. And then I returned, continued my work as permanent secretary, Minister of Home Affairs, which was enjoying it. was in charge of prisons, probation, all those things and so on. And then there was now a strike of doctors, the Ministry of Health. It had gone on for about a week or 10 days. Then I just read again in the announcement, in the evening again, that I've been appointed, transferred to Ministry of Health as permanent secretary. There was a reshuffle.
This was now, you got to hear about it in the news?
Yes, I think I heard it in the news, yes.
So you are not called first to be asked,
I don't know. I don't know what I was called. I don't remember anybody called me. I don't remember. I think my wife, if I called, I would have told my wife, I'm sure, that I'm moving to another ministry. I don't remember having been called.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That appointment.
Because those transfers were being done, and very few people have to know. Yeah. Yes. Because, in some cases, maybe it was good that way, because if you know, you may start bragging around or talking around. And then, yes. So I can't remember where they knew it before that. Yes, because there was a reshuffle. Not only mine, it was not just me, there are a number of us.
Many civil servants.
Yes, a number of us. It wasn't just me only. No. So then I went to, then we reshuffled with the permanent secretary of Home Affairs. So, who was in health, it came to Home Affairs, and I went to replace him. So again, it was baptism on fire because the doctors were on strike. It was a very, is a section which I write my book to in only chapter, because it was very involving. When doctors were on strike, and I had to find on ways of resolving them by doctors. Their union was a new union. It was not registered. And the president was telling me, don't talk to them because they are not registered. But I have found that unless I talk to them, they will not end the strike. And every day you hear people are dying in the hospital there, you think it's because of the strike. It was a very bad moment, yes. So then I organized for me, some people organized for me to meet those doctors secretly at night. The doctors were not registered because I had been told not to talk to them. So when we met at night, only those who were organizing it, they are double agents, I think. They told the head of public service about the meeting.
Who was the head of PS?
Professor Mbidi, Philip Mbidi.
Okay.
So the morning I got to the office at about 7. I had to go to the office about 7:15. Professor Mbidi will call me and say, Dennis, why are you disobeying the president? I said, why? He said, you met these fellows last night. And we are meeting the president today. We used to meet the president every day, me, professor, and the director for medical services, and our minister for health. 4 of us used to be there to meet him, to brief him. So he said, today you are going to have fire with the president. Is he aware? I said, I don't know, but I know. If he's aware, you'll be prepared for it. So when we go there, as soon as the president sees me, he said, you, why are you disobeying me? You met these fellows last night. First time I just kept quiet. I didn't utter a word. I said, well, I think tonight I'm going to go. Going to be sacked. But I wasn't. Yes, I wasn't sacked. So the strike went on. Then I started digging again. I got one doctor, I don't want to mention a name, who was like their godfather. And he was a friend of mine. We knew him. We were not friendly, but we knew each other. So I told him that I want to meet me with these doctors. And it should be, second time. I tried second time, failed again. Same scenario. This time the president was very hard on me. He was very furious. But I had the courage now to tell him that, Mzee, you know that my career is a diplomat, and my diplomacy, you tend to talk to people whom we differ with. Those who are enemies, you want to bring them over to your side. So that is my training. That's my profession. I've served many years. So bear with me if I speak to people whom we should not be talking to. Trying to bring them on board on our side. Then he warned me, wacha hii mambo ya protocol yako hiyo, diplomacy yako hiyo, follow my advice. I said, yes, mzee. Third time, I don't know, had that courage. Third time, I decided to call that doctor now. And this time, I said, I'm not going to inform anybody else. It will just be me and those doctors. It's me who is now under fire. So we met, and the doctor was very good. He told them, I assured them, some of the things I'm going to do. Those whom we had sacked, and so on, I will not lose any doctor. I told him what I'm going to do. Yes. So this doctor defended me. He said, I know he's taking a risk of meeting you. But if he's fired, whomever replaces him, he will be a hardliner. He will be the losers. So, and he was going to India the following day for a visit. He said, I'm going to India tomorrow, and I want to hear while I'm in India or when I'm in India that you have gone back to work. So we agreed on return to work formula.
Okay.
Yes, and the doctors, we left. So I told them, one of you or two of you come to my office at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to look at, I would have that time typed it, return to work formula. If you agree, that's when I'd call the media. So I think two or three of them came to my office. I typed it. They made some minor amendments which I could live with. Then I had it typed, and immediately I called the head of the press in the ministry that I want to call the media at 4 o'clock. And he asked me why. What is it? He said, no, just call them. I'm saying, tell all the directors of departments here, senior officers in the ministry, in the conference room, 4 o'clock. So he said, but what is the subject? I said, I'm just telling you, please call them. Yes, we have 1 hour now to call them. Please do so. So which we made. Nobody knew we had met them. All of them there did not know I had met them. So we came there. The senior, the leaders of the doctors on strike were there. Very senior doctors also. Then I spoke briefly. I said I met the doctors. Yesterday, and we have returned to work formula, which we'd like to sign. I'll sign my part, and then I signed my part. Then I asked the chairman of the doctors to come. He signed his part, and then now it's now the chairman now to make the announcement. Then the chairman said, yes, we have now, as you've noticed, you have signed the return to work formula, and now request all the doctors who are on strike that the strike is over. They should return to work immediately. Those who are working at night, those in the morning, by 8 o'clock, they should be at their places of work. But the strike is officially over. There's nobody who should be on the strike, continue the strike now. So then my job now is to thank them for having taken that decision of return to work. Of course, I gave explanation why it is important for the country to have the doctors working and so on, briefly. Then we left. I did not want to tell anybody. Apart from those who are directors who are there, we said, don't tell people, let's wait until the announcement in the news. Because you can never know. There are a lot of political things which are coming up also. Things are not easy those days also. So in the evening, I'm in my house waiting now. Then the news comes up, me speaking briefly, signing the agreement, return to work formula, and the doctors calling the doctor to be on the strike is over. So the first caller, immediately news before it is over, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister for Health.
Who was it then?
It was somebody called Joshua Ngatia. He passed on. He called me. We are very good friends, we work together very well. And he was a very good minister. And he called me and said, PS, how can you treat me like that? I said, why? I'm just reading in the news that you have resolved this issue of the strike, and actually we are meeting next to my office. The conference room is not far from my office. Why didn't you inform me? I said, I'm sorry, I apologize, but I'll explain to you why I had to do it that way. He said, you mean you can meet those people to agree, sign, and don't tell me as your minister. And then I apologize again, but I'll explain to you the circumstances which made me do what I did, why I did not want to inform anybody. But please bear with me. But I'm too happy that I've gone back to work. Then he said, yes, I'm happy, and congratulations, I'm happy. But you owe me an apology. He said, yes, I'll apologize to you personally tomorrow. After about, few minutes, I think, someone called from the State House, not the president himself. Said, the president is saying congratulations. So then we have to go to the president now, the following day. Now it's friends now. The president told me, let me ask you a question. What do I do to people who disobey me? And he said, you sack them. I said, why didn't I not sack you? I said, I don't know, because I disobeyed you 3 times. He said, why didn't I not sack you? You disobeyed me 3 times. And then he added, I did not sack you because I knew you are one of the few people who disobey me if what we are doing is good for the country. Because he remembers some of the things I used to also do when I was still a protocol and being ambassador. Yes. You knew my advice I used to give him. Some of them which perhaps are not, one will give advice, we will be cared to receive that advice because they may not be well received by the recipient. Because it is the truth. So he said, that's why I spared you, but congratulations. That's how I ended up with it. So, to cut the story short, I enjoyed my service there until I worked until the end of I was given an extension of 3 years. So I served and finished my tour of duty and retired peacefully. And I'm still enjoying my retirement. So from Mafia House.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that your experience in diplomacy was able to end
it helped
a
me.
strike.
It helped me, definitely. Yeah. It helped me.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot, yes, it helped me a lot. Because I would not have courage to meet them, definitely. Yes. And in fact, I think the Director of Medical Service used to be wonder why I'm meeting them disobeying the president. By the 3rd time, I didn't tell him. So it helped me, definitely, diplomacy. Yeah.